And
It's fine.
we are live with Tezzy Sue here. We're actually right next to the Vortex. We're down at the Vortex Healing Center. And welcome, Sue. I know you live here, but welcome to the Vortex Energy Podcast.
Thank you. Nice of you to invite me.
Yeah, yeah. So today, I wanted to set up this interview so that people could get a better understanding, I think, of what the book is about and how it all came to be. So, just give us a quick summary of what the book is about, this history of the Tasmanian Vortex. I mean, we can assume, is it actually a history book?
Yes, it is. And it's also the history of my spiritual journey. And it covers over 25 years so far. There's a few more years to come in part two. But it's a story of how this vortex came into being and the journeys that I took to bring it to the stage that it's at now and the things that I went through. And it's really an adventure story and a history story and a spiritual story.
Yeah. So, what exactly inspired you to write this as a book?
Oh, strangely enough, I wasn't inspired. I was prompted and pushed and nudged by my higher self or my subconscious, if you like. I was in the plane actually coming back from my last adventure at Rapa Nui or Easter Island, and as I was doing the last leg home from Melbourne to Tassie, I suddenly thought, oh, I'm not going to be doing many more journeys like that. Oh no, I'm going to have to write a book now. And I have to speak about my experiences. I have to bring the unseen side of spirituality, if you like, into focus and to show everybody that a life like mine is possible with anybody. And um, the difference in my life and many people is that I've totally followed my intuition, regardless of where it's led me. And this, my book, I hope, will encourage others to do the same because it is I've had a lifetime full of adventure and learning and knowledge and excitement and pain and anger and frustration and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah.
But it was truly worth it.
Yeah, fantastic. So, were there any challenges in bringing the book to fruition? So, you had that concept, you're on the plane, and there's a long space between the concept of what something is going to be and actually seeing it in print. What were the biggest blockages or challenges to getting it to its final form that it's available to the public now?
The biggest problem was getting it printed. I think the writing was the easy part because I'd experienced it all, it just flowed. And um, getting it printed and getting it the way I wanted it and everything else it's quite a process and obviously worthwhile in the long run, but again, there's still little tweaks that have to be done and hopefully in the next version of it, it will be 100%. It's only about 90 in this book.
Yeah. So, do you consider your writing to be a spiritual practice?
Absolutely. It's a growth of my spirit, and that's all spiritual growth is. It's a growth of yourself, and I grew spiritually by looking at everything I'd done and realizing that, hey, I've actually done this. Wow. Because when you're going through it at the time, you're actually lost in the experience, and you're going through all the hardships and the financial burdens and everything else that you go through. But you don't look at the whole picture, and it's only by looking back and writing it down, if you like, that you do see the full picture of the incredible journey it has been.
So, what's your hope for the readers of your book? What would you like that to achieve for them?
what I'd like people to achieve by reading my book is the inspiration to go out and try whatever they wanted to try, to follow what their inner voice says, to do what they want to do, what makes them happy, you know? It's a life to be lived, not a life to spend slogging over stuff that you're not happy with.
Yeah. So what's the next step for your readers to take after they've read your book?
Again, to go out and do something. And I think my big message at the moment is that there's so many people that have awakened and saying, yeah, let's do that, yeah, but they don't do it. The next step is doing it. Making the idea into a reality. And, you know, we hear all the catchphrases now. This is the year to create. And to do what you want to do, you have to do it. Nobody else can do it for you, and that's basically what I hope I inspire people to do, is to take that step, to bring it into reality, to do it. Nike's slogan, just do it, is a fabulous one. I think it's the best slogan I've ever heard.
Fantastic. So there are a couple of controversial parts to your book. That hasn't really been marketed or put in print out there, but I can tell you that a number of people have said that there's a photo of an alien's shadow in your book. Were you afraid of being ridiculed about the content of your book?
I was aware that could happen, but I had to write this book in complete integrity. I know that when you write with integrity or talk with integrity, people hear the truth. And so instead of doubting it, they think, wow, wasn't she lucky she saw an alien? Wow. You know. But I didn't even actually see them. They only appeared in the photograph later.
Yeah.
But that's all it is, you know. It's if I'm not in 100% integrity, then the book just will not reach its desired audience or help people.
Yeah. Another aspect of the book that some people might consider controversial or raise some real big question marks is, did you actually gain your psychic abilities by falling on your head after you fell off a horse, and the horse rolled on top of you?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I thought I was headed for a padded cell. I was a very, very young 28-year-old. I was having a ball. I was galloping around racetracks on these beautiful, super fit, beautiful, powerful animals and having a ball and actually becoming one of the first lady jockeys. Life was fantastic. What do spiritual stuff? What's that? No, I'm having too much fun. But when the horse fell on me, split open my head inside the skull cap, my life changed forever, basically. I got a proverbial kick in the bottom from the fickle finger of fate and said, hey, you said you're going to do this, get on with it. And I started smelling things and hearing things and seeing things. I thought, whoa, I've got big grave doubts about my sanity. On the whole, I seemed very normal, but once I sat down and I was home alone and all those things were happening, I thought, oh, help. Fortunately, I reached out to the right people and, again, got guided beautifully right through. So I have been fortunate in that. But again, that was just listening to my inner self, my higher self.
Fantastic. So what's
you properly if you're willing to be led.
Yeah. So what's your next step as an author?
I've got to finish the second part of this book, which entails our trip to France, so the Rapa Nui experience, New Zealand experience. Quite a lot more has happened since then, so they wanted, or my guidance wanted, this book out, this part of the book out, before Christmas of last year. And so around about September, I thought I'd better write it. So,
Yeah.
So it was a rush. I put a bit of pressure on myself to get it out, but I didn't really believe that was what was going to happen, but yes, I didn't get any rest until I did it.
Yeah, we've got a couple people on. Lorraine Townsend's on, and so is Carol Ann Matthews has joined us. Um,
Oh, Carolyn Matthews.
oh, we
Funny
did.
you should mention Carolyn
Yes,
Matthews.
and I was supposed to ask a certain question, but so the question I was supposed to ask was about the cover of the book. Do you want to hold that up briefly, Sue?
Carol has been a long-time friend of mine. She used to come and house sit for me when I was off doing my adventures, and she'd come with her camper van or some friends, and she looked after the property for me, and she's a very special lady. And when I was writing the book, she actually contacted me and asked if she could do the cover for me. I thought, wow, okay. But when she sent me this, I wasn't prepared for the effect it was going to have on me. I sort of opened the envelope and the master sheet came out, and I thought, oh, all my chakras started spinning. I thought, wow, what is this? And when I contacted her, she said, oh, it's an activator. All the little writings around the outside are DNA activators, and that's the master print of the Vortex. You can't really see it there, but that's what it is.
So I believe there's a link for everyone inside the book for everyone who buys the book. There's a link to be able to download the activator. Is that correct?
I hope so. Yes.
Say yes. Say yes.
Yes, there is. Good. Yeah, go out and get the activator. It'll really give you the energies of the vortex, and then you'll know just how much energy it does hold. And all the places I've visited, all the countries I've visited, I've brought the energies back, and it's a mighty powerful place to visit. So come on down.
So there are a lot of people, we might as well just continue chatting for a moment. A lot of people who believe they have a vortex in their backyard, or they've been on a sacred site on Mount Shasta or Lake Titicaca or the pyramids of Egypt, many other sacred sites where there are vortexes. What does the book talk about? How somebody can build or maintain or work with the vortex energy?
It doesn't as such. My life is an example of that, but if people want to work with their own vortexes or their own power lines, then they need to just acknowledge it and work with it by, meditating daily, sending it love, feeling all the extra energies that you feel when you stand on one of these places.
Oh, and Jane Lindsay just popped in. Hey, Jane.
Hi, Jane. Jane's going to feature in my next book on our trip to Rapa Nui. I'm going to put that interview in, Jane. Except it doesn't really work with a video, but not to worry. Sorry, that was just between Jane and me.
Yeah, obviously, that's all right. Anyway, so do you have any guidance for people who would like to work with Vortex of their own, or an area that that they're quite intimately involved with?
They need to tune into themselves and really, really go deep inside. They've got to learn to hear their own voice so that they can do what's needed to be done exactly when it's needed to be done. That's the tricky part, because I can give you an example. I was meditating one day and a moai came into my meditation. And he turned around and he said, "Come, moai is one of the big rock heads at Rapa Nui or Easter Island," and most people would just dismiss them and think, "Oh, well, I don't know what he was doing there." But I didn't. I thought, wow, next adventure coming up, beauty.
Yeah.
If you listen, maybe just a split second, but it's transforming and it'll change your life. And any vortex that you will be on will be starting to jump around too with joy. You can actually feel the energies increase just even thinking about about going places. It's like the energy encourages you.
Yeah. Do you have advice for people who are going to visit sacred sites where there is already an active vortex? Any advice or tips on how to assimilate, or what should they do when they get there?
What they should do when they get there is be quiet, be still, allow the energies to absorb into each and every cell. And when they go home again, be prepared for a big shift in consciousness or awareness, because the higher frequencies at any vortex will push out the lower vibrating energies that you carry. Like if you haven't dealt with any of your childhood issues or leftover junk from marriages, divorces, whatever, deaths even, it will come up and it will be cleared. A vortex primary role is to increase your frequency. So to increase your frequency, you have to let go of old stuff. It's not all adventure. It can be very painful. I know I spent the first 10 years here dumping, crying, yelling, swearing. But then I got to the good stuff and got to start travelling and experiencing the other vortexes around the world. And it was fabulous.
Excellent. Any last tips you have for people about writing their first spiritual book about their own spiritual journeys?
Just do it. It'll help you understand your own journey. It'll fill in the gaps that you miss. It will bring you into a wholeness. And it'll also help other people to learn.
Great. Well, thanks, Sue. Thanks, Sue. So how do people get your book?
Amazon.com, Lulu, or just contact the Vortex Healing Centre and we will send you one.
Fantastic. I'll put the links in here. I've got the link here for Amazon Australia, and we'll add the other links to be able to buy print or Kindle books. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Well, and thanks again for tuning into the Vortex Energy Podcast.